Good morning. Welcome back to my channel. I'm Judy. So today I'm going to be making a recipe that I found off of Pinterest. It is for a pear raisin bread, like a fall-time bread, but I've tweaked the recipe, and instead of raisins I'm going to use the Craizins, and I'm throwing in some other spices and stuff that's not in the recipe, but I've made it once before and it is delicious, and so I thought I'd make another one and do a video so y'all could see it if you might want to make it yourself. So stay tuned, and we're going to make pear Craisin pecan bread. Okay, so we're going to start with our wet ingredients first. So I'm going to put 1 cup of sugar, and this is just regular sugar, in my bowl. And then I have 1 stick of butter, softened butter. And you can use a mixer with this if you want. I'm just going to use a whisk this time. That. We're going to whisk this up. It's going to take a few minutes if you're doing it by hand, but that's fine. I just don't feel like getting it out. Once you get it all incorporated, then we'll add our eggs and vanilla. Okay, now we're going to add 2 eggs, but 1 at a time. Oh, there's a lot of white in that one. I switched to my wooden spoon. It's a little bit thicker. There we go. You want to incorporate each egg. This gives you a little bit of a workout. Okay, let's add our other egg. And my eggs are room temperature. Keep mixing. Pretty yellow. Okay. Now we're going to add in 1/4 cup of buttermilk. Now, I buy some, hold on a minute, let me get the jar. It's powdered buttermilk from Asia Standard. It's not as thick as, like, when you go to the grocery store and you buy buttermilk. Okay, where's my, oh, this is, hold on a minute, that's a 1/3. I don't want that. We're going to do 1/2 cup. There we go. So 1/2 cup of buttermilk. Let's mix this in. But it still gives you that little bit of tang of buttermilk. And it keeps your bread tender. Okay, buttermilk. Now we're going to add some vanilla, pure vanilla. I only use pure vanilla. Never use imitation. I just don't like it as well. But this is from Asia Standard too, and it calls for 1 teaspoon. I'm just going to eyeball it. 1 teaspoon of that. Okay, let's mix this up. Okay. Now the recipe doesn't call for this, but I'm going to add it. I'm adding 2 tablespoons of squeezable ginger. You can use fresh grated ginger, but I don't happen to have any fresh right now. I need to order some more from Asia. Oh, that smells so good. This is going to be a really fall tasting bread. It's beautiful. There's our ginger. Okay, I think that's all the wet ingredients. Okay, now let's move this aside for just a second. Okay, now the dry ingredients, put this down just a bit. My dry ingredients, I have 2 cups of all-purpose flour, 1/2 teaspoon of salt, 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, about 1/2 teaspoon of nutmeg, which it calls for the recipe, and 1 teaspoon of cinnamon, but I also added 1/4 teaspoon of cloves, And I think that's, yep, that's it. So we're going to add, let's whisk this up really quick here to incorporate our dry ingredients. And I'm also, to this, I'm going to add a 1/2 cup of toasted pecans. Now the recipe doesn't call for this, but I like pecans, so we're going to add that in there. And if you add them in your flour mixture, just like chocolate chips, they won't sink to the bottom of your bread or cake. Okay, now we're going to get our wet mixture, and we're going to start adding the flour. I might add 1/2 of it at a time here. Mixed up. And then we're going to add our craisins and our chopped up pears. Okay. Here's part of it. This smells, oh my gosh, it smells just like what fall time reminds me of. All the homey flavors. Yummy, yummy. Okay, let's go ahead and add the rest of this. Get it mixed in. I've had my craisins soaking in warm water just to soften them up. And you could use raisins if you want, but I didn't have any raisins. I just had craisins, and I really like those a lot. So, see, it's going to be a thick batter. Oh my goodness. Okay, now we're going to add our craisins and our chopped pears. Okay, ready to add our, it's about a 1/4 cup, maybe a 1/3 cup. I just kind of eyeballed it, of craisins that I've soaked just in warm water. So we're just going to mix these in. Y'all, this smells delicious. Oh my gosh. Okay. Let's get them in there. Okay, now I have, the recipe calls for a cup. This is a little bit over a cup of Bartlett pears that I bought. We bought at Costco. We got a membership at Costco the other day. Even though we have a Sam's here in Conway, we decided to go to Little Rock and get a membership for Costco just to see what they had differently. And I'm going to add all these pears. So it's a little over a cup. I'm just going to fold these in. Oh my gosh. This is so beautiful. Now you can, once the bread's all done, you could actually put an icing on it if you wanted to. This one I'm not going to, because after I do a little taste test, I'm going to freeze it. And if I really like it, the recipe, then I will make some more and put in my freezer. So when we go over to a friend's house for the holidays, I'll have something I can take that that they will like. All right. I'm not going to overstir it. Okay, let's get our pan. Put this in the sink. Set this aside a minute. Okay, I bought this the other day at Walmart. It's an Anchor Hawking, you know, bread pan. It's nothing fancy, but it came with a lid that you can put over it. Now you don't bake with it because this is plastic and silicone, but you can actually cover it up and keep it in this container, whatever you're making. So I'm going to get some more of these. I thought it was kind of cool. At the time, I only saw this size. Hopefully the come with some like square ones for casseroles and stuff would be kind of cool. Okay, so let's get our bread in here. Make sure we got just like you can see what I'm doing here. Oh, I sprayed my dish with baking, like the Baker's Joy, or it's a Great Value brand, I think, but this is a really, really thick batter. But it's so beautiful. Okay. Get it down in here. Oh. I'm going to bake this in my Emerald air fryer oven, but I'm going to do it on the baking function. Okay, let's get all that out we can. And let me get a spoon here to scrape some of this off. Okay, we're just going to use this spoon, and then we're just going to make it fit the pan so it's kind of level here. Okay, we're going to bake this well, it says, the recipe says 40 minutes. Oh, total 50 minutes. But the last time I made it, it didn't take quite that long. I will test it. But now, on top of this, I'm going to put some more pecans. And these are toasted pecans, just like I put in the bread. This is going to be so good. I love fall baking. That's my favorite. I'll take the spoon and we'll kind of tamp it down a little bit. So there we go with that. Put my spoon back here. Actually, I just want to mash it down just a little. Okay. There we have it. Pear Craisin pecan bread. So let's get it in the oven. Okay, I put it in the oven on 350 in my emerald. I'm going to close it up. And I'm going to adjust this time because it started it out just to preheat it. So I'm going to turn it down to about 55. And I'll check it in between, but there she is. I'll bring you back when she's all finished. Okay, here's the pear ginger pecan bread out of the oven. It's beautiful. Smells wonderful here in my kitchen. But it's really, really hot. So as soon as it's finished cooling off, I will do a little taste test. Okay, our pear ginger pecan bread is finally cooled off enough. So I cut a piece to do a little taste test. But I want to show you, look how high that got. Isn't that beautiful? It did such a great job. I did bake it for an hour in my emerald oven. I started it out at 350, but then I turned it down to 325 to finish because that oven is small. And it, you know, gets a lot hotter than what, well, maybe not hotter, but there's more space in the bigger oven. But anyway, so here's what it looks like cut. There's all your pieces of pears, craisins. It smells wonderful. You can also put some softened cream cheese, like spread on top, which we did last time. It was delicious. So good. You got a little bit of crunchy crust on the top. The top's crunchy, but the inside is moist, guys. It's beautiful. You can taste the ginger. You can taste the cinnamon and the allspice and the cloves. Just watch. Don't put too much cloves in because it will be bitter if you do that. Oh my gosh, so good. With a cup of coffee, or hot tea, or a glass of milk, however you want to eat it. So I thank you so much for watching the video, and if you haven't subscribed, please do so. Hit the thumbs up, and I appreciate everyone who subscribed up to this date, from the very beginning to my new subscribers. And watch for some more videos coming up here really soon. I've got some reviews I want to do. I've been buying things for our RV just to leave out there instead of dragging stuff in and out. It's just a lot of work. So I've been buying stuff off of Amazon and different places, and I'm going to do some reviews on some of those products. So God bless everyone, and I will catch you in my next video. Bye.